In today's video, we are going to create a 3D navigation system on a Heightmap terrain using Godot. Navigation is a critical component of any game, allowing players to explore and interact with your game world. Creating a 3D navigation system on a Heightmap terrain can be a challenge, especially for beginners. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a solid understanding of how to create a 3D navigation system on a Heightmap terrain using Godot. So, let's get started. I have a basic setup of this scene here with a player and an NPC that walks in a random direction. If you're interested in learning how to create this basic setup, you can check out my other video linked below. So, for the Heightmap terrain, we can go into the asset library and search for terrain, where we'll find the terrain asset. We'll then click on it to start the download process. Once it's fully installed, you want to go to Project Settings and in the Plugins section. This is where you can manage all of the plugins that are available in Godot and enable or disable them as needed. To enable the Heightmap Terrain plugin, simply click on the toggle button next to it to switch it to the Enable position. Then, when you go to add a new node and search for terrain, you'll find the terrain asset, which you can double-click to add it to your scene. As you can see, we need to select a data directory. To do that, let's first create a new folder called HTerrain just to keep things a bit more clean. Then, in the Inspector panel, go down to the data directory and click the folder icon. Then, click on the HTerrain folder we just made, and click Select Current Folder. As you can see, it made a massive flat plane. You can adjust this terrain using the tools at the top of your screen to the right of the terrain section. Alternatively, you can generate a map that does this for you. When you click on the Height Terrain asset, a menu will appear where you can customize the terrain to your liking. Once you are satisfied with the settings, you can click Apply to generate the final terrain. Now that we have created a height map, we need to add the navigation 3D to it, but it's not that simple. First, let's delete the previous scene we were working with. This will allow us to start fresh with the Heightmap terrain as the foundation for our scene. Next, we'll need to position the player and NPC characters on top of the Heightmap terrain. This may require some adjustments to their transform properties, such as their position. Now we will generate a mesh that will later be used to create the 3D navigation region. Set the LOD, level of detail, to 2, as lower levels can negatively impact performance. Once you're finished, click Generate. Now that we have a mesh, click on it. In the drop-down menu, there should be an option called Create Navigation Mesh. Click on that, and after a short while, a navigation region 3D should be generated. Now, let's rearrange the navigation region 3D in the scene tree so that it is no longer a child of the mesh. Once it's properly placed in the hierarchy, you can safely delete the mesh, as it is no longer needed. With that complete, the NPC should now be able to walk freely across the height map using the generated navigation mesh. You've now created a working height map complete with a navigation region 3D in Godot 4. Your character or animal can freely move across the terrain, following the shape and elevation of the landscape thanks to the navigation mesh. This setup lays the foundation for adding dynamic NPCs, animals, or AI agents that can explore complex 3D environments realistically.